Peace, bro.
Peace, 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 brother.
I'm so happy to be talking to you right now, bro. Of course, I was just looking on your Instagram page and just seeing what you shared on your stories, and it was making me smile watching you sing. And I was thinking about how we both have long hair now.
Hey, how long have you been growing your hair?
Oh man, the last time I cut my hair is in 2021,
Nice.
so 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, your hair is super long, bro.
Yeah, I got it all wrapped up right now, but I think it's like down to here. I'm going for
Nice.
the hip.
Oh
Dude,
yeah. I'm trying to tap in there. Coming soon.
it looks beautiful. Really. It
Thank you,
does.
thank you, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like you look good with short hair too, but I like long hair, so it just makes me happy.
Exactly. Same here. I used to have long hair in high school, and then I cut it off for a while, and then just around like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I decided to just let it grow.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I always had that dream for long hair, but my hair grows very bulbousy.
Mm,
And so I could never get what I wanted from it. But in 2021, I made my mom sit down with me and we partitioned everything out. And I was like, Mom, just follow this YouTube video and just like cut my hair this way. Because I never went to a hairstylist or anything. It was always my mom cutting my hair. And yeah, it worked though. It everything grew out the way it needed to be. And now I got that long, straight hair. And
beautiful.
it feels great. Yeah. Yeah, but so how have you been, bro? It's been so long since we've talked.
No, I've been good, bro. Just flowing with life. Um, Tapping into different parts of myself, man, and just letting certain things go. Like certain self-talks and certain judgments within myself. Because I used to, I don't know, I feel like at some point in my past, I used to be very, well, I am now, but I was at a place like where I was very free and liberal, and then for some reason something happened where I started to care about a lot of people's judgments, and I didn't do, you know, certain things that made me happy. Like as you see in my stories, I'm just like flowing and just,
Yeah.
talking and stuff. And I'm like going back to that center, you know,
Mm.
that center piece. And
Is that like a this month, this year kind of thing? Or like what kind of
the
like
past
how long's
couple of
that time period of
months,
seeing that come up?
the past couple of months, I have a year and I would say 7 months in a new relationship.
Mm.
And oh, it's not new anymore, but it still feels pretty new. But ever since we've been together, we've just been incorporating our lives and putting the things that we do together, as in our rituals and what we want for the future and everything. And I feel like that has been helping me visualize my future, and exactly what I want, and just helping me have a freer flow of things and be more myself with no judgments, you know?
And so naturally you get to that point of seeing those judgments come up again, right?
Yeah, yeah, they always do. It's always there in the mind, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's up
Yeah.
to it's up to us to either feed into it or just like, put it to the side. Like I hear you, but I'm I'm doing this right now.
Yeah, and it's such a powerful practice. I can really relate to that. Like I went through my own reconditioning around the time that I met you back in 2021-ish. I was doing a lot of that reconditioning, reprogramming, like meeting awesome people like yourself and realizing that, oh, I can let go of judgments. I can change my beliefs and taking action and seeing the results, just like turning stone after stone over. It's an amazing experience. Um, and so to get to the second round of evolution of that was really rooted in physical limitations. Like at that point in my life, I didn't have many physical limitations. I had a lot of support from my family. I had pretty good health. I had some things that were troublesome, but in terms of my mental faculties, like I was good. So I just realized what I was. And for me, 2023 was all I was healing from having gut issues after I took antibiotics with strep, and that like totally shifted my entire energy. And then I ended up developing an undiagnosed, but to me, very real chronic fatigue. So it's like my
Mm,
energy balance got messed up, and I still tried to stay going and going and going as if I had all this energy cultivated, and I just drained and I didn't reach whatever it was I thought I was trying to get to. And so in that process, I lacked that capacity to do that kind of work, shifting all my beliefs and judgments as they would come up, and I was doing so well, it became second nature. So it's not like I was egotistical about it, but I thought I had gotten somewhere. It just
mm,
made sense. Like, oh, I've been in this place so long where the judgments come up and they don't mean anything. And then as soon as my body was trying to communicate, hey, you need to get healthy, and that was taking over my mind space, then it was like all these judgments started coming up. And I was smart enough to know that this is part of the process, but it was tough, man. It's brutal when you have awareness that you can't implement, is kind of what I was feeling. But I trusted it. And, I'm still healing from fatigue on some level, but I'm so much better. And now it's just so interesting to hear about people navigating these things, because I went from a place of not knowing I had any power to thinking that I have all the power to recognizing that there's a power balance. Yeah. And there's just
yeah,
levels, there's rounds and cycles that we go through, revisiting the same thing. And of course, we can all say that, but when you experience it, it's like, oh, okay, this is what that is for me.
yeah, it's beautiful. And also just knowing that you're like I've tapped into also like learning that your body is almost they're like the seasons, right? It's like, how when winter comes and then spring and summer and fall, but like we have to treat our body as that. There's time to take action and there's also time to restore your energy and take and come in to to relax. It's not always putting in work and taking action and that's something that I had to learn also, by tapping into nature and um just absorbing, like there's certain just like nature, we have to sit down with ourselves and relax and then there's time to bloom, it's time to go out there and, you know, do what you love or do things that make you happy and then, flow with that. Um Yeah, and right now in New York it's like a blizzard, bro.
Yeah, we got the same thing. I'm just upstate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like super snow. Like the first snowstorm out here.
And it's funny because right now, what I'm doing for my income to balance my books is grocery delivery. So I had set up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. I was just going to kind of go all out on it. And then I found out there was going to be snow, and I'm like, okay, great. I get to rest. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, that's been where I'm at. Like I went after a different kind of job opportunity, and for several reasons, it ended up not being right for me. And the big thing that I walked away with was I need to honor where I need to heal right now. And I knew that for so long, but my circumstances didn't really feel like I could embrace that. And then now I'm like, oh, wait, I can embrace that. I'm not in those situations where I had to be on go time. And it's important. And a day like today is just a simple way of the universe being like, yeah, like still like make some money, do what you got to do, but like it's a snow day. You're gonna chill today. And I'm gonna have this conversation with you, and like some other things have already come up that are just in amazing alignment. And man, that's where I'm at right now. It's like synchronicity land is where I live, and it's good to be home.
It's beautiful, bro. And and I still surprise myself like with the synchronicities. It's like I found that I don't know if it's the past couple of months, like manifestations is like as soon as I speak things, they
Hmm.
happen to present themselves pretty quickly. you know, like, and it's you know what it is also. It's sometimes like with me, it's like forgetting. Sometimes we forget, right? Like the power that we have or the what we've been through and the risks we've taken and all these things. And then it's within that remembrance, right? That we can go, wow, I did, I have, I've gone through so much and I have so much to give that I have to, sit down with myself and remember that in order to be present and walk or better said, be within myself and be present because I feel like when when we forget certain things that we've gone through, we tend to only, what am I trying to say here?
It's like a tunnel vision that can happen for us.
Yeah.
Like, and we forget that. I heard this quote recently. I love when it comes up. It's like the
Mhm.
light at the end of the tunnel isn't real. The tunnel is the light. And it's like remembering that. And then the whole thing lights up. And you're like, oh, yeah, yeah. Like, I know where I'm at. I might be in this tunnel. I might have this vision, but hey.
Hey.
Um, yeah. And I can really relate to that. Like when I was going through a lot of fatigue and I'm in the depths of it, like literally my energy, my mind, it felt like this. But I knew this truth. I knew it. I experienced it like on the daily, saying something and it happens. And then if
Mhm.
something comes to me, like what was happening that was crazy was I was coming to these spiritual insights and starting to play with integrating them. And then a book would pop up somehow, like someone would mention a book and it would be exactly what I was doing. And I went from being kind of a skeptic with spirituality, but being really interested to learning it myself and then reading about what I just learned. So I knew that was real. And I'm like, I may not be the most advanced or know the best way to describe it, but I know that experience was real and it was repeated. So like a science experiment, if you can repeat it, then it's considered law. If it repeats
Exactly.
enough times and it's verified. So for me, it was my law, my personal law. I learned that law. But I think what I found is through going through the fatigue is that it's like there's something interesting about the fields of reality and our energy and how it relates. It's very complex. And I think that we naturally go through these seasons, like you're saying. And what I've been focusing on is kind of the window of opportunity. Like we're on this flow, and then at a certain point, your flow naturally gets into that window of opportunity. And so everything you're doing outside of that window of opportunity is preparing you for that, you know? And you might be forgetting, but it doesn't matter. It's all about how you show up when that window is open. And then in
Exactly.
that is where that kind of quantum leap idea exists, where however you embrace that, your life can shift and then you create a new foundation. And so I feel like remembering in those moments is probably the most important because there's so much more access. And sometimes there's not as much access, I guess is kind of what it's like. Like that tunnel vision is, oh, I don't have access to that right now. But knowing that you already experienced it allows you to carry that memory until it naturally opens back up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. I could definitely relate to that. Yeah. It's it's a beautiful thing, bro, to connect and just flow. And just flow, 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 flow
Right.
with life. Because yesterday I felt that same thing, bro. I just felt like I felt like I had a certain frequency and I wanted to continue through that frequency throughout the day. And
Mm.
um I feel like when you have certain practices and you have certain rituals and they work for you, like keep doing them as long and don't also don't judge yourself if you miss them too. right? Like everything is like today, like you said, today you had a plan of how your day was gonna be like, and certain things happen, the weather gets crazy, and that's okay, you know? That's all right. Just continuing to flow and allowing life to bring you where where you're supposed to be, you know?
Mhm.
Like, because sometimes I want to do so many things, right? I want to get so many things done throughout the day, just checking things off. And then I get upset or I get into my thoughts when I don't finish certain tasks that I wanted to, that I had planned out. And that's okay, that what I've come to realization is that everything happens for a reason. If it wasn't meant to be for this day, you just schedule it for the next day or whenever that time comes,
Yeah.
because everything is in order for yourself, you know, I feel.
Yeah, and there's this flux of the universe and God that is so much greater than what we are as humans. And when routine and ritual, like dedicated routine worked for me, I was actually kind of small in my energy. I was powerful where I was, but my field wasn't expanded that much. And that's when it worked for me. But when I expanded my field more and I tried to be rigid with my discipline, that's where nothing would line up. And I think that's so funny. For me, I feel like my whole spiritual journey is just understanding these fields, our energy fields, our chakras, the fields of reality, whatever this is. And that's something that I definitely experience. And what I found is like going through having the discipline gave me a certain mental muscle mass that I needed that I now can maintain through different types of practices. And in so many ways, I had to kind of specialize to get to a certain point of growth. And now I feel like I have more access to flowing. Whereas before I would have flowed, I would have felt it, but I would have crumbled because I didn't have that strength. I didn't know how to commit to something fully or in so many ways just embody these things that need to be embodied. And so that's like part of doing these conversations is I've come full circle and I'm like, dude, I don't need to try to structure everything out right now. It's going to defeat me. It has defeated me. I surrender, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like some
And
people they need that. Some people they need to learn to let go of that.
where it is. That's where it is. It's in the process of letting go. And I learned that a lot in trips, in psychedelic trips too. Like learning to let go and just allow the allow to receive the messages, you know, allow to tap into those realms that you're scared of, you know, because what a lot of things that stops us is fear, right? And past and things that we're scared from our past. I feel like for me, um tapping into that field and plant medicine and stuff like that has opened me up to realize that a lot of the things that I'm afraid of are things that were embedded in me in a very young age, you know,
Mhm.
and learning to letting those things go and learning and being aware that that's what it is also has helped me um release
Yeah, like it's
and
not you. It's
exactly.
the product of circumstances that isn't anybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And just you know tapping into that and knowing that, being aware of that, and then just letting it go, like that's not me, and just loving myself in a deeper level um has helped a lot, bro. Like it's helped me, and it's helped me treat others, in a or see others in a different perspective and in a different light, and being more present with everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I love
Hmm.
that. That feels so good. I've I've had such like beginner experiences with psychedelics because I tried LSD when I was 18 and I had a crazy trip. It was more of a party energy than a spiritual ritual energy, but I was already like in my own mind had programmed myself to be very spiritual. And so a lot came to the surface in that was really great. But other than that, I have yet to go into a full psychedelic realm, I guess you would say. Like once I discovered microdosing with psilocybin mushrooms, I realized that there was something amazingly powerful there for me. And it was so powerful and meaningful. I told myself I would love to grow the mushrooms that take me into the next space. And that was 3 years ago. And so I've been microdosing and experiencing my relationship with mushrooms for 3 years and I've stayed under that gram threshold. So it's like sometimes I'm wavy and I can feel the wave is a little bit bigger than me, but I'm still here, you know? So I've been really called to stepping into that space, and that's one thing that I've just let God kind of flow me into. But that might be a corner that I'm rounding right now, actually, with some things in my life. But yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I really resonate with Terrence McKenna's ideas with psychedelics and creativity.
Mhm.
That's really where my mind is at. Like this idea that there's that space beyond language, another field of reality, another dimension where there is information, intelligence, and creative energy. And as a creative, maybe one of our purposes is to go into that space and come back and provide that. And when he talked about that and said that that is one of the reasons why society is crumbling because artists are failing people, that hit
Mhm.
home for me. I was like, yeah, let's get rid of that victim kind of mentality of artists aren't supported and think about how artists haven't been supporting people. And it's definitely both. I mean, the world does not give us what we need necessarily. But even on that, 2 days ago, I had this idea that maybe the universe is growing resilient creators. Maybe we need to be able to be creative not just when it feels right and when everything's good, but when the world is really apocalyptic, though we need the creativity then. So, it's all for a reason. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my curiosity with psychedelics. And I feel like the type of experience you're talking about with dissolving that conditioning is that first gate that you pass to getting to that raw creative energy that might be in that space. I'm just curious what you think about all that.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree, bro. When it comes to microdosing, that's something I've been tapping into as well, like just microdosing and just flowing. And I've been like tapping into dancing a lot. Like
Mm.
whenever I microdose, it like my body tends to wanna like just flow and just move and with microdosing, what I've noticed is that my body tells me where I need to pay attention to, like which body parts I need to focus on. And I had an accident like 3 years ago. I had a car accident and I had a torn meniscus on my knee. And ever since then I've been having like just little slight pains here and there. But working out and exercising has been helping, but once I microdose, it just I just allow my body to flow, and it gives me the the space to focus on my knee and certain exercises that I don't do on the regular. Like it'll just tell me, and I'll just allow it. Like, wow, that's this is exactly what I need right now. And and yeah, I definitely want to start growing my own mushrooms as well. So I'll definitely have to talk about that. Um, I've been I haven't really been doing like much psychedelics lately. I've taken a little break, but the flow of just allowing things to be is it's bigger than us, right? Let me focus. Apologies, brother.
Oh no, I'm here with you. I'm like, yes, let's focus.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like I'm a little bit everywhere.
Mm.
But yes, concentration, focus. My thing is structuring myself, right? And organizing like your day to day, my day to day basis. When I feel like there's been times where I obviously everything is flowy, but when you don't know, you know, what you want to do or what you have planned for the next day, I feel like there's a balance with that, right? You can plan it out and also give time for flow. Because when you're very strict with yourself in certain aspects, then certain things, there's no time for flow. You need to give it space to let things just be, you know? Because I
And
found myself
understanding
just
the
trying.
season we're in is important with that. Like
Mhm,
some seasons that just being in flow and having like basically no structure is what's needed, and you can kind of flow into that. But then you
mm,
got to be aware of where you're at because it's never one or the other for too long, you know?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
and I've learned that like you can make it a practice of organizing your days, but kind of recognizing that maybe that's all it is. Maybe sitting there and setting your intention is the thing. And it's not about how the day goes. It's about
mhm,
sitting down in that moment, being present, working that muscle, and then practicing that non-attachment the next day and see what happens.
exactly, exactly. Just seeing what happens. Like one thing that I started doing when I find myself in a routine or doing things repeatedly, like going to the same route, um, let's say for work or something, I tend to do something different, like take a different route or change what I did the next morning. Like if I have a routine, like change it slightly, like instead of doing Pilates, do some yoga, or instead of, you know, um doing a face plunge, which I do in the morning, I'll take like a cold shower or something, like just changing things slightly and changing your routines, and it just changes the whole day. Like I end up seeing somebody I haven't seen in so long,
Mhm.
and I end up tapping in with my cousin that I haven't spoken to in months, So things I've seen that when you change certain like your routines, as in like going to work, or if you take the same route, like taking a different route, or just taking um a different approach to your day that you keep doing on as a routine, it changes the whole view of how your day is going to be, you know?
Yeah, my brother talks about that a lot. Like anytime that comes up, he always goes, "I think that's an underrated practice." I've heard him say that so many times. And it's funny because I've experienced like kind of not resonating with that sometimes. And of course, it's like that brother kind of energy. But I'm like, no, if you go the same way every time, it's kind of like a stillness is created and you're just with you. But I think you're absolutely right. Like you can still get to work and do the job, but you can go a different way and then reality's different. You can still show up and do your yoga and stretching every day, but you can ebb and flow like this. And in that sense, you're choosing the balance that you have. You're saying that yoga is going to happen, but I'm not going to control how it happens, kind of thing. And
That
and of course, the universe will come in and destroy all of that when it's needed, but I think that's a better balance, you know? And I really like that so much more. I I went to the limits of being rigid and like I'm gonna do things the same way so that I could study things. And I loved the information that I got. I learned a lot about myself where I'm like, oh, I'm not getting just ideas in my mind about how this is flowing. I know objectively this is how XYZ is working. But in that process, I now come back around and I'm like, that's a terrible way to live for me. Like it doesn't feel good. You can you could get all these results through that and you feel like you've never actually been being, you know? It's it's interesting how that works. And I think that's a season again, where like sometimes we need to move through that and say, I'm gonna sit down right here and meditate 5 minutes every day, just like this, to see what that meditation does for me. But then once you understand these things and you have your toolkit, then you flow and you can learn from the place of flow. And I think that's the end goal, to to be in flow and not be making any sacrifices from it, like being able to grow fully as we're doing that and like knowing that we'll come back around to the other thing for a period of time and then we'll keep shifting. Mhm.
right, beautiful. Is that not to change the subject? Is that the studio that you're in right now?
Yeah, so this is the little music studio that I built in this
Nice.
space. So I had a studio in my parents' house outside Princeton in Hopewell, and that, let's see, I had a version of that when I met you, and then our house got flooded. I think that might have happened right before I met you or right after. It was September of 2021. And when the basement of the house got rebuilt, kind of all the walls had to be rebuilt and all this stuff, my mom and I made all these panels and we remade a studio room there. And that whole year was me trying to build that studio and heal my energy back so I could do the work that I wanted to do, that I felt that I needed to do. And it ended up being that I had to leave that space, that I had to grow beyond it. And I moved through a lot of stuff to get to that point. And then now I live in the Hudson Valley and I'm actually in a house that one of my good friends has. And so this is a little room in the basement right next to the laundry room. There's a door right there that the
Wow.
laundry room is there. And so it's like this, it's like the size of two vocal booths, basically. And so
Nice.
it's like a big vocal booth that fits all my recording equipment. I got a piano in front of me, and like this is the mic I'm
Nice.
using right here is my vocal mic, guitars and stuff. So
Yeah, it
yeah, I
looks
got
beautiful.
it really is, dude. It's like it's seriously an energy, and I've been really having the space to just connect with being in here. And yeah, dude, I'm so excited. I got so much music from the past like 4 years. This whole decade has so much, all the 20s has so much music that's ready to come out. And I've always said it's on God's time, and that time is getting close.
It's amazing, man. I can only imagine the magic that you're gonna create through
Mhm.
there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and I know when we talked last time, I was in that studio in my parents' house. I remember like walking around, we were on the phone. And I know that you do at least some form of hip hop and I know you use your voice. So I'm curious where you're at with just creating. Even if that's
Yeah.
not making a project or anything, just, flowing.
Yeah, I've been flowing too. I usually what I like to do is I like to record. I record myself. I have a lot of recordings of songs and things that I want to create. And I feel like I'm a flowy artist. Like it doesn't really matter the beat. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, raise the frequency and 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 bring more positive because I feel like that's a thing now. Like a lot I hear a lot. I'm hearing a lot of more positive artists, like a lot
Starting
of
to
good
happen, right?
artists that are coming out. Yeah, bringing good messages to the world, and that's what I feel. That's what I feel like we're more or less tapped into, right? We're trying to create. And I have actually went down to the studio 2 weeks ago
Mm,
with my friend. He's down in Manhattan in 27th Street, and I still have to finish it, but I'm doing like a EDM kind of high
okay.
frequency, cool little vibe. So yeah, I want to send you that over to see what you think about that. See what
Yeah,
we can.
absolutely, man. I'm so happy to give feedback. Like I'll really sit down and break down the track. I'll be honest. I'll let you know what feels good, what doesn't feel good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly, so we can flow with that. And I also have, I have a whole bunch of recordings. I just have to go back to it and like hear them and see how that fits in certain beats because I record and then sometimes I record with beats, but then I don't write down the beats. But that's okay. Like if I go to somebody, they could just remake the beat or whatnot.
Yeah, I've one of the songs I put out. I produced the music for all the songs except two songs that I put out, and one of
Mhm.
them I wrote over one beat, and then I wrote another part over another beat, and then I just had the song, and I was gonna put it out on this one beat, but there was some weird situation with this producer. Um, just like personal things got in the way. And then I just let it sit. And I was like, man, I love that song. And then a totally different beat came up and I tried rapping it on that. And I was blown away. I was like, what just happened? I didn't know that was going to feel that way on this. And it was like the old one, it still has a special place in my heart. There's something potent in there. But the new one was like charged and it just came to life. And that's the Solace track that I put out. It's Solas. And it was all about like coming from anxiety and panic kind of energy and
Mhm.
just shining a light on that. And that's where the word comes from. It's like a an Irish word which means light. And so the photo is a little streak of light. And it's like
I
it's
love that.
shining light on all that stuff. And it's powerful.
I love it. That sounds like yeah, I feel like that can be like a segment right there, like a shining a light on things that we tend to hide from, right? Like our anxiety and depression and those kind of things, right?
And even a part of me didn't want to put it out. I was like, man, I want to create this high vibe music. Like, I want positive messages. Like, this is so powerful. And that energy, is that good for people, is what I was thinking. And I had to realize, like, there's got to be space for that. You have to share an aspect of that. Not everything can be transmuted or should be transmuted into something else because then we're blind to it. And so
Right.
I decided that that was my truth. It was there. And I felt
Hmm.
like the fact that I was concerned at all showed that it was powerful and worthwhile.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I agree. Yes, because I feel like, we have to embrace the darkness in order to bring out the light. Like we have to show that, you know, it's a process and it's not just all peace, love, and light. It's also like we have to, you know, we've gone through some darkness and we've gone through some, you know, certain aspects of life that made us realize and come to this awareness, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I feel like that's important too to talk about those aspects, those things like those fears and those anxieties, and then how you overcame that, you know, like put
Exactly.
it in a song, like put in that out there that yes, we go through that, but then we can overcome that, and this is the result of it, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I had resistance to because I was like, I really talk about what I'm going through, but I didn't get to the overcoming in this song.
Hmm.
But I just felt all right. Had a little lapse there and get Melvin back in here. A second. You know what happened? Your boy did not have the paid version of Zoom. He didn't cough up the money yet, but that's done now. So this little break is a one-time thing. But also, we'll see what my video editing skills are like. There he is. Yeah, sorry, bro. I didn't have the paid version of Zoom, so it cut off the recording and ended the meeting at the same time. So
It's
I
okay. It's
just
okay.
I just resolved that, and so we're good now.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. But
Yeah, you kicked me out the room too. So I'm in the bathroom now.
okay, maybe that's good that maybe they needed the room. That's cool. That's a nice bathroom though. But yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about the song and yeah, kind of the intention of sharing things more on the shadow side, knowing that we can present it and then also present the solution. And
Mhm.
that's something that I realized and that I really wanted to do. But with that specific song, it didn't seem like there was room for that. So I had to say, like, is this valuable as a piece of art, or does this not fit what I believe in? And ultimately, I'm still kind of in the gray area with it, but I realized that it was meant to be. So like it had to be offered to the world. It couldn't be something that I held on to. Um,
No,
yeah,
bro, I feel like art is art.
yeah,
Art is supposed to be
exactly.
expressed however, bro, and however it comes out. And if it came out just as that without um having the solution, you can put that in another song. You know,
Exactly.
what you feel like, you know? Like it's okay, but I feel like both are necessary to keep the balance, right?
Yeah. And
The
that's what
balance,
I
I
found
think.
as an artist. Like I just want to display what I am, not what I think I am or what I want to be. And that's what I
Right,
love about the artists that I love. Like when I get to see demo material from Nirvana when I was a little kid, I got to see that. I went crazy. And if I could see Kurt Cobain having conversations with people that he liked, like it's amazing. I don't want to know what he was trying to do with that band. I want to know who he was and what was happening. And
right.
I found that releasing music from that perspective, like I shared some demo projects and stuff like that, it really was liberating. I'm like, oh, I don't have to try to be something because I am something.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And like I get to see it with everybody, when I let go of whatever my attachments are to myself, I'm not like, oh yeah, you see the brand that I've created. Now you're on page. It's like, no, I'm with you on this. I don't know necessarily what it is. We're both discovering what it is that this art is, and we're both evolving our perspectives of me.
Right.
Yeah,
And the beauty of that is that, with art, this you don't know who you're helping, right? Like with your art and with your artistry and the message that you are portraying to the world, you don't know who needs to hear that, whether it's with solution or no solutions, but whatever it is, just expressing yourself freely, I feel like um helps others see themselves also, or tap into those parts that they weren't aware of, you know?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's deeper things that people that aren't engaging in creative activities, they're caring so much. And then the creatives are able to tap in way deeper beyond that. And then when they express freely, they end up just kind of covering all that landscape that's inside of other people. And that's so much
exactly.
of the story of why we love so and so or love so and so. It's like they said what I was feeling. And occasionally someone comes out and they're saying what everyone is feeling. And I think
Exactly.
that's the thing. It's like it's a conversation that's happening, and musicians and artists are just conduits at the end of the day. And I love being playful. I love having intention and having my beliefs in it, but I really see that I want to do it, and I do it from a place of service and the value I'm providing. So I have to be fully exposed to whatever extent I can be so that people can see what we're molding together. Like what are we working with? And if people don't see it from that lens, then they're missing the whole picture of what I'm trying to do as a creative. It's
Hmm.
like I think that there's this bigger process, this bigger creative process, and all these beautiful things that we can see coming through in other artists that are making high vibe music. And I'm just trying to show up and say, hey, I know how to play all the instruments. This is what I think feels good to me. This is what I like. And then what do you guys think? This is everything that we have to work with as this this being that we all are, you know?
Right. And just letting those people that want to enjoy it, right? And I see art as, can you hear me?
You cut out on what you see art as, but I can hear you now.
Yeah, somebody was calling. So I was saying that I view everything as art. Like everything that I do on a daily basis is art. Like me washing dishes, that's art, you know? That's
Yeah.
yeah, bro, that's a form of meditation for me. Like if you at least if you see it that way, right? You can see it as chores, you can see it as working, you can see it as however, but if you come to the realization and seeing it doing everything with art, like, you know, everything that you're doing, especially like the things that we are programmed to see as work, right? If you see it as a form of art, like just cleaning your house, or if you see it in that sense, then you'll find a purpose in it, and you'll find that you can even meditate while doing it, right? And I don't know, like seeing it from that perspective, everything is so much beautiful, right? Everything that we do is it's so there's a purpose for it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I love seeing how art and meditation go hand in hand. You know, I
Right?
found that so much, like understanding where creativity comes from in the mind and how I can flow into creative states. It's all very similar to what shamans do and a lot of the stuff that comes up in psychedelic rituals. And
Yeah.
part of the reason I didn't feel like I needed to jump into psychedelics is because like I know I'm tapping into these spaces already. So I
Hmm.
don't need the sacrament in order to know that it's real. So
Right.
it's more like how do I want to engage with that? Um, but yeah, dude, I totally relate to that. And that was one of the bigger shifts in my life too, like recognizing that I have power over my perspective and what work means to me to a very large degree, much bigger than I thought. And just that there was something to find out about. Is like once you realize there might be more, the question is how much more?
Right.
And then like I just took that to the limit and just understand what is this reality? What am I really dealing with? And then and then now I feel like I can create with that because I have that information, that feedback, and I'm engaged in that process. And so everything feels like a meditation now. It's like
Hmm.
there's always the meditation object, whether it's shifting quickly or not. It's like it all is that. And I unify it with creativity and art, like you said. Like I just pictured, there's a little spot of sauce on the plate, and you're like doing the opposite of painting. You're unpainting the plate.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Beautiful.
It's a
You know?
beautiful way to see it,
And we think about cooking as a culinary art, but what
bro.
about the dishwashing? That's
Right.
that's its own. It's a cleaning, the art of cleaning. It's Zen.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Zen, exactly. And keeping your house nice and neat, I feel like has a lot to do with your mindset, right? Like I feel like when you have a lot of clutter and a lot of stuff, I feel that's how your mind is. Like when your
Yeah.
mind is super busy, like that's why I like to keep everything nice and clean, nice and ordered, organized. So I don't have to worry about that. It's not in my mind. It's not something I have to do. So
I find
I
I learned
usually,
from that too then. Like I recognize, oh, my environment was speaking to me. Everything's messy and disorganized. And that had a direct relationship to things inside of me. And I started to notice that. I moved back to my parents' house. I noticed all kinds of stuff with that. And then I realized when I'm organized and something's out of place, I immediately notice it. And if
right
I
away.
take away the response that wants to grab and control it and I just witness it, there's information there. And I'm like, oh, that's the mind and the emotions manifesting into physical reality. And so by having a relationship, a conscious relationship with space, choosing to be more ordered, when things are out of order or not conscious, then I'm aware of it. And then you maintain the frequency that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a big challenge for a lot of creatives. They're like, most of the time, you know?
But yeah.
Yeah.
a little bit everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can, and then you can also learn, from yourself and from others through that lens, like you said, going to your parents' house and seeing certain things that, how they are and how their environment is, and then noticing that that has a direct connection, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I learned
that
so much about my family just from that. It was like, get out of your head, just see what's here. Look what's here. Look what's going on. And then being able to observe what was in my body the same kind of way. Like, get out of your head. Stop thinking about what this means or what that is. Like, what is here? What's in you? What is the energy? And then being able to see how that was directly related gave me so much information that I could work with mentally, and it's like I'm not doing mental work now. I'm not doing mental gymnastics to try to heal. I'm just observing, I'm witnessing, and I'm flowing and I'm being and I'm choosing to go this way or go that way. And that's what gave me a lot of results. And the microdosing really helped with that too.
oh,
Like how you were talking about dancing and feeling the movement in your body. As soon as you mentioned it and like you moved a little bit, I felt that. I was I was like, yeah, that's what I feel. And
yeah,
the biggest thing for me that I had experienced was I took what was it? Maybe like 3/4 of a gram of mushrooms. And I kind of thought that I would feel a little discomfort, like, oh, this is foreign, like, whoa, kind of energy. And I was outside at my family's garden, and I was not feeling that at all. I felt really sober. I felt like more sober than ever. I felt clear. I felt like I could see things clearly, like I was really seeing the garden. It was in July, so the garden was like sunny, full bloom, and I felt all this warmth and just like genuine love that felt real, not drug induced, not induced at all. It was just here. And at that moment I was like, "Oh, I understand what listening to nature is. Like I can hear what's here. I get that." And then I went inside into my bedroom and I was sitting there just kind of in that energy, and I felt physically my heart open up. It was just like, pop. And
wow,
I was just still and I was like, what just happened? My heart just opened up. And when I said it out loud, all the times I had heard people talk about heart opening, it like came flooding through. And I'm like, wait, I just said the thing that I had heard all these times and I felt it. And I instantly went, I know what a chakra is now. I get it. And like I had this realization that if my heart just opened that way and I'm feeling all this, that means I was in a state where my heart was closed up until that point. And this energy center of this actual organ and this body just opened up and expanded. And that was the beginning of my relationship with mushrooms. And so I realized that this is powerful. And that I got into somatic healing from microdosing before I really knew what it was. It was one of those things where I experienced my heart open, and then I started hearing people talk about heart opening more. I started doing more microdosing and doing movement and feeling healing in my body and letting energy flow. And I started learning about Kundalini and somatic practices. And it's like it all relates to being able to let the creative energy flow through us physically. And if we don't have that in tune, then we're not gonna be able to be fully in the meditation of the act of playing the instrument and all that. And that's where I was at up until that point in my life. I could do the thing, I could play the guitar, but I wasn't feeling it all the time. And other people would feel things, but it's like that wasn't what I was feeling either, because I wasn't feeling. And I shifted my perspective entirely from like I want to play and I want to make the sound to I want to feel and I want to cultivate the energy. And then once that's there, then the sound will come about that needs to be. And that's why it's taken me like 3 years to get the music out, because it's a lifetime of a process, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not an easy process, but it's a beautiful process to go from wanting to do something into feeling it. It's very different. Feeling the music, it's more, and that's I can definitely agree with that with microdosing because I remember having that more or less similar experience of microdosing and then just sitting with like I remember one of the first times that I've microdosed and I just sat with it like as a ceremony. I felt like my all of my cells were dancing inside of my body. They were just
Yeah.
like dancing and just
Yeah.
like almost like communicating with each other. And I remember my hands was just because at that moment I was learning a little bit about Reiki and how certain energies move and how you can heal yourself through chi and through all these energies. So I just started to move my hand around my body and I felt the energy that was coming out my hands and how healing it was and I started to understand how I can heal myself. I can heal
Yeah.
my own body and like tapping into just feeling yourself, just feeling yourself and feeling your body and just touching it. Like I feel like we at me as a individual, I didn't know that that existed, or I wasn't aware that just putting your hands on your knees for a good amount of time, it feels good. It feels so good, bro. Like just placing your hands there and placing your hands on your joints and giving yourself a hug, you know? And it wasn't until I had that experience and that microdosing and just laying down and just allowing and feeling that I got to that awareness. And then I started to tap into Reiki and and
Yeah.
and flowing with that, and
Yeah, that's
helping myself
exactly the
understand.
kind of relationship that I discovered for myself. And it was really cool because when I was very young, I found cannabis when I was a teenager, like 13. And I remember reading about meditation and trying to understand it. And one time I smoked some weed and I was meditating and I started feeling what I didn't have words for it at the time, but I started feeling the chi flowing into my palms or into different energy centers in my body. And I talked myself out of it because I couldn't understand it. I was like, am I just high? Is this what being high is? Like, I was so young, I didn't know. And so I wrote it off because I couldn't find ways to recreate the experience or validate the experience outside of that. And then as soon as I microdosed and I started to feel um like the positive glow from it, I immediately went, "Oh, this is what I wanted from cannabis." Like it felt like the energy that I was looking for without the fog that I wasn't even fully aware I was getting a lot when I was smoking and the anxiety maybe that I was inducing. And then as soon as I started feeling the subtle energy move, I was like, "Yeah, this is real. This is the thing." And it became a passion of mine to understand how to cultivate that and then cultivate that in a way where we can create. It's like that is directly created to or directly connected to the creative spiritual energy. And so if
Mhm.
we're trying to paint or make music, it's like that's the same thing. So just trying to understand how do we Reiki the guitar? How do we Reiki the hip hop beat? Like
Right,
what does that even mean? Are those the right words? You know?
right, yeah,
And so all I know for sure is that if we're in that state and we're doing it for ourselves, it has to ripple through the process. And I'm confident that that changes the landscape of music when an artist does that. And when people hear that and they're tapped into that, they feel that, and I don't
yep,
think that's totally new. I just think it's new. There's more light that's shining on it now.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I agree. There's more awareness now to it. I feel like that always existed.
Yeah, if anything,
Um,
that's probably what existed first.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. That music is a form of expression, and I feel like that, you know,
when it first came out, I feel like people were just expressing themselves freely, and that's how it came to be before it started to be controlled and whatnot. But yeah, I can definitely see how right now the revolution of everything, how things are changing, how people can be more in the feeling state of music because it is a feeling, it is a frequency. And since we're in this like awakening process for a lot of people, um, that's I think people are going to be more aware of what they're listening to because it's very important, right? It's the listening, right? Because it could be positive words, but also the feeling of it, like we're speaking about, be positive words. But what is the feeling? Because also the beat has frequencies as well, right?
Mm.
So even even that we have to feel it out. Like what does it feel? How does it feel for you? Does it feel good? Are the words, speaking to you? And and then go from there. Like I'm tapping into new forms of music, like a lot of spiritual music. And and yeah, and they just some of them don't even have much lyrics, it's just instrumentals and they feel great, It feels like
True. It's like whatever has that true connection to you. Because it may not
mhm,
always be positive. It might be like that
right.
shadow song that I shared, right? But for some people, they'll be like, no, that feels like truth. That
Right.
resonates and that
Mhm.
opens up that feel. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm very confident that people will continue to demand more conscious creatives. That's a
Yep.
vision I had years ago, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this seems so obvious. Like there's no way people will continue existing and not ask for more." In the
Right.
consumeristic capitalistic society we live in, we're always asking for more. And at a certain point, we're recognizing we need healing, we need health, and we need well-being with the planet and ourselves. So when those two things overlap, then people are going to turn to creatives and say, I don't want you talking about drugs and sex to me anymore. I don't
Right.
want that. I want something more because I know it's
Mhm.
there and I don't trust you. You're not real. You're not
Right.
true.
Right.
And then
Right.
someone will come up and they'll say some of that stuff, but they'll start branching into a new direction. And and that's what we'll see. I found out about this group called Coast Contra. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Coast Contra. Oh,
Yeah, you gotta check them out, bro. So
okay.
good. I think it's one, two, three. Yeah, it's four guys, and I think they're probably no older than 35. That's probably pushing it too. They might still be in their 20s. Um, but they're like old school hip hop kind of flows, but just to the next level. And I wouldn't say they're like conscious, like new age conscious, but they are conscious people and
Nice.
they're understanding like, yo, hip hop came from a place of play and expression and freedom and
Right.
community. And so within that is positivity. Within that is the expression of where you're coming from and the struggles you have, but you're growing and you're speaking truth. And so they're really about like, yo, we're not tolerating this bullshit anymore. And here's the best bars you've ever heard from four people that you never heard of. And now you're never gonna forget them.
Right.
I found them recently. I think that they're probably just on a wave of like blowing up on the internet more right now. And it immediately inspired me and it refreshed me. I was like, yes, these people are out there. They exist. And I'm like, I got to get in the room with these guys, you know?
Yeah.
So I,
Yeah.
I would definitely say check them out, bro. It's so inspiring. You listen to that and
Definitely.
you go freestyle and you'll feel leveled up just from hearing them.
Oh
Seriously.
yeah. That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's that
Coast Contra.
Coast Contra
Yeah.
right now.
But yeah, man, it's 11:09 right now. I know that originally you were saying you had 10 to 11. So I don't know
Yes,
if
yes. Got oh
you're
yeah.
pressed for time.
Got another meeting after this at 11 actually.
Mm. Okay, then let
But
me let you go.
definitely appreciate you so much, Liam. You are an amazing soul, and I know we're gonna create some beautiful things together sometime in the future. Thank you for this beautiful conversation and for the amazing energy. And I hope to have a next one so we can
Yeah,
continue
bro, it
flowing.
definitely feels like we got
Sure.
more. We definitely have more. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Like creating in this conversation is beautiful. So hopefully we no, I know we will continue to carry this high frequency, this vibration throughout the day. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liam. You enjoy the rest of your day. And since you're already at the studio, tap in, bro.
Yeah, I know I'm here. All right, bro. All right, I will do that.
All
Oh,
right, bro.
all right.
Peace.
Peace, brother.
Speak soon. Peace.